Good morning, guys. Tyler Hicks, brand ambassador for Old Town Canoe and Kayak. Today I'm in San Diego Bay. It's a beautiful day, absolutely perfect conditions, no wind. In the 60s, going to get up towards 80 degrees today. I'm going to take my autopilot here out to the mouth and fish the jetty that's right at the entrance to San Diego Bay in hopes of some bass species, kelp, bass. They've got spotted sand bass, they've got barred sand bass, and hopefully California halibut too. And I want to go over some of the features of the autopilot today. There's a lot of features packed into your motor and this remote, and we're going to go over some of those features today. All right, let's get out on the water. We got about a 3.5 mile drive out to the jetty, but with my autopilot, it's pretty easy. I can just put on that heading direction, lock it in, and relax and enjoy a beautiful sunrise over San Diego Bay. Let's get going. There's that beautiful sunrise over San Diego Bay. Always get your sunrise photo so that if you get skunked, you can at least post that at the end of the day, right? So better snag that now. Hopefully we don't need that. Okay, let's go over some of the basic features of your autopilot remote. This comes with your kayak when you buy it. Now you have your up-down speeds here. So here I'm at a max speed. I can decrease my speed or increase my speed. I can also turn the motor head using these arrows. I can also turn the kayak using the rudder system while I have the motor underway. Down here on the bottom, we have our heading feature, which is especially useful on a day like today where I'm running over 3 miles out to a jetty. I can point in that direction, hit the heading feature, and it will just take me in that heading, and I don't have to worry about steering as much. Spot lock, cruise control, and then go to when going to iTracks or your saved spot lock points. Then you'll use these buttons here on the top to access the menu. This is to your home screen button. It'll also light it up. This is your power button right there. And one of my favorite features of the iPilot is this cruise control right here. And it's the top of the high tide right now, so it's slack tide. There's not a lot of water movement, thus not a lot of bait movement, which means the fish aren't going to be super on the feed or concentrated at any sort of rip points. It's a great time to troll and just kind of cover some ground looking for fish until that tide starts getting going and start getting a little bit of a rip around some structure. And what this allows me to do is by pushing this button here, it'll set the speed that I'm at now. Now it's 2.8. I prefer to troll closer to 2.5, so I can adjust this down to 2.5, and that's the speed it's going to keep me at no matter what current I am in or wind I'm in. The motor's going to throttle up and down to keep me at that speed the best that it can. It's a great tool. You can also use this in conjunction with your heading feature. So you can say I wanted to point out towards the jetty on the horizon there, towards those 2 cruise ships. I can just hit that heading feature and I can use these in concert. So this will just keep me on a straight line towards the jetty. I can focus on getting my gear deployed and starting to catch some fish. There's fish. First fish of the day. Look at that. All right. Feels like a decent one. Now, if I feel like that there's just too much drag from the cruise control, I can just lower the speed of my cruise control by pushing that down a little bit, take a 0.5 mile an hour off, and that should make it a little bit easier to bring this fish in. There's usually about a 5-second delay in that speed drop or speed increase depending on what you did. Big old spotted bay bass. Man, the beautiful fish. The size of this guy. He's a tank. That is a fatty spotty. Look at that thing. Man. Beautiful spotted bay bass, or sometimes called spotted sand bass. Let's get him back in the water. There he goes. Let's push that cruise control speed back up by just pushing the up arrow. That heading feature was nice because I was sitting there dealing with that fish, taking photos, and the motor kept me going right towards my destination and still kept this rod trolling even though it's just a little bit slower than I like. And that's what's so great about the autopilot and the iPilot system, is that it just keeps you fishing. It makes you a more effective angler. I love it. Now, one feature that a lot of people don't realize they have built into their iPilot remote is the iTracks system. This allows you to store 16 2-mile long breadcrumb trails or tracks that you can then have your motor return you to and track back along. And I'm going to use this here trolling along this sunken jetty. I'm going to use my Humminbird Helix and Coastmaster depth maps in combination with sort of a feeling of where I think fish might be holding based on seam breaks. I'm going to troll along here and record my breadcrumb trail. So in order to record my iTracks, I'm going to go to the record button on the upper left. There'll be up to 16 empty tracks there. Looks like it bounced off the bottom there. And then all I need to do is just hit save, and it's going to start recording my breadcrumb trail as I work along this jetty, the submerged jetty off to my left here. So I'm going to go ahead and complete my troll along the jetty here, and when I get to the end, I'm going to press stop. And then if I want to, I can have it, if I'm within a quarter mile of the, oops, there's a bite there. If I'm within a quarter mile of the jetty, I can have the motor return me to that track system and take me along it. Now the speed at which I go along that track is up to me entirely. It doesn't record your speed, it just records the breadcrumb trail. So on the return, I can check, I'm bouncing off the rocks quite a bit here. On the return, I can check and see if, oh no, I have fish. This is why you gotta pay attention. Thought I was bouncing off the rocks, wasn't paying attention. So when I return, I will need to pick my troll speed, and I might have to change that because I'll be trolling probably against the current a little bit more as the tide starts to shift. Let's see what we got here. Oh, it's a little calico bass. Nice. These guys are voracious. There we go. Nice little calico to start the troll. That's always a good sign. There you go. Pretty little calico. Get him going. And get my gear redeployed. And once you get to the end of your troll, just press the stop button and it'll record your end of your iTrack. Now we can navigate back to that iTrack and have it go back over the same course without me having to make adjustments as I go along, and I can focus just 100% on fishing. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is use the go to button here on the lower left of the remote, then go to iTracks in the upper right hand corner, and it'll show my saved iTrack. It gives you the date, the distance that iTrack was, and the time that it was recorded. Then it'll ask you, do you want to go to the start or to the end point of that iTrack? Since I'm closest to the end and I just want to go back to where I started, I'm going to go to end. The motor is going to turn, and now the motor is going to take me back to the start of that point. Now the iPilot has got me turned back around. It's going to take me to the end of that track and back on that troll system. Now you have to be within a quarter mile of the start or end point of your iTrack, and remember, it can be up to 2 miles long. So if you're somebody who does a lot of trolling, or you work the same section of bank every trip for bass, walleye, whatever fish that you're targeting, you can use this track system, this iTrack system, to work that entire area hands-free. Just work along at whatever speed that you choose and catch some fish. So now that I'm going back the direction I need to go, I'm going to go ahead and redeploy my gear and get fishing. You can adjust your speed as you move along your iTrack, so don't feel like you have to be rigidly stuck to that one speed that you started it with. You can even use this in conjunction with cruise control to maintain the speed that you want. And when it reaches the end of your track, it'll beep and let you know that you've completed your track, and you can go back again or continue fishing and do whatever you want. Now another feature you can use is cruise control presets that allows you to store 2 different preset control speeds on your iPilot remote. That comes in handy, especially when you're targeting different species. It's just a nice handy tool to be able to use. Perfect. Another fish on. Scorpion fish. Alright. Oh, dude. Heck yeah, man. Things are crazy. There we go. Got a stunning California scorpion fish. It's a big species of sculpin. Absolutely delicious too. Very firm white meat. Oh, there's fish. Yeah. Oh no, this is a really nice calico. Nice. Check out that calico, guys. Woo! That's a tank. Take that. There we go. Nice calico on the troll. Current's getting really strong, so in just a little bit, I'm going to switch up and start using my spot lock and target tighter to the jetty. It's hard to troll tight to the jetty with this 1.5 mile-an-hour current. Just sweeps my crankbaits out of the way. But that's a nice fish. Of course, one of the most amazing features and most popular features of the AutoPilot is its spot locking ability built into the iPilot motor. So here I am on the end of the jetty. I've got a 1.5 mile-per-hour rip and swell right here, and I'm able to pull right up into this pocket here, right along the jetty, and work this water, this turbulent water. And all I had to do was just push the spot lock button here, and you can see I'm on anchor. It's going to hold me here. Now, as I move up and down the jetty, I can use this spot lock feature to systematically work structure up and down through here. And I can also save those waypoints by just pressing this button here, which will, you see, save right there. Press that, and then I can save up to 16 spots here. So I can go and hit the save button. Boom, and I've got one saved already. So if I go back to that, let's say I drop off of the spot lock and let the current take me away. Let's say I had to fight a big fish. He got me wrapped up in some kelp. Okay, so now I'm drifting away from the jetty. I can then go back to that by going the go to button. There is my saved spot lock spot. So I can hit the check mark. And it's going to take me right back to that spot, right? So if I, just in case I drifted off of it, or I had to take care of a tangle or something like that, or a fish, I can always go right back to it if I save it on there. So if you have a productive spot, don't just save it on your Hummingbird, but also save it here, because this will get you right back to that precise position with just a push of a button, and you can be up to a 1/4 mile away. It'll take you back to your spot lock memory spots. All right, very cool, innovative feature built right into your iPilot. Now currently I'm on spot lock here, and I have the current ripping out over the jetty coming out of San Diego Bay. So I got about a mile, 1.5 per hour current coming over the top of the jetty. I'm hoping that there's fish set up here to ambush the bait that gets washed over the side of the jetty or ripped over the top of the jetty. But if you install a heading sensor from Minn Kota on your AutoPilot, you get an additional feature. And this feature is called Spot Lock Jog. What this allows me to do is to jump 5 feet in any direction with just a push of a button. So the sensor knows which direction my kayak's pointed, so I can hit the plus to go forward 5 feet or the minus to go back 5 feet. Alternatively, I can hit the right arrow to go right 5 feet or the left arrow to go left 5 feet. I can even go forward in increments of 10, 15, 20 feet if I press those buttons multiple times. So if I want to go forward 10 feet or 20 feet, I would then press the plus sign 2 times or 4 times, and it'll move me forward. This allows you to systematically work structure, but it also allows you to get right within that perfect casting distance to work the areas that you want to. So here, for example, I've drifted a little bit away from the jetty, more than I want to. So if I just bump the left arrow here twice, you can see the motor's going to kick me over to the left just about 10 feet. That should bring me right on top of the jetty here. You can see the bottom coming up a little bit. That's what I'm looking for. I want to be able to work that structure and kelp right along the jetty there. This lets me just precisely do that. And then it'll stop, it'll spot lock me on that spot 10 foot over, and it'll hold me here, and now I can fish. Your Old Town AutoPilot 120 and 136 kayaks will come standard with the iPilot remote with this orange accents on it. It differs from other iPilot remotes in that it lacks the rabbit feature, which the rabbit button, basically what that does is it jumps the motor up to its fastest speed. And the reason they did away with that on the standard remote is because if you're standing up and using that and you accidentally hit that rabbit button unexpectedly, it could throw you off balance and you could fall out of the kayak, which is why you should always make sure to have your motor kill switch attached to you in some way in case you fall out and that way it'll kill the motor and your kayak won't run away from you. But there are other remote options. One is absolutely free, and that is the iPilot app. You go to this app, and here it gives you access to the rabbit feature, heading feature, spot lock, motor controls, but it lacks all of the advanced features such as iTracks and spot lock memory. But this is a great thing to have just in case you get out to the lake and you forgot your remote, or your remote batteries died or something like that. Then you don't actually need this to control your kayak. So it's great to have that app on your phone, and it's definitely saved me a couple times that I forgot to throw my remote in the kayak. Another option is the iPilot mini remote. Now this is a much smaller remote than the one that comes standard, so it feels a little bit easier to wear around the neck all day. In fact, a lot of times when I'm running this one on the ball mount while I'm trolling, I will run this one around my neck, so if I stop to stand and cast, I'll have this one. Like the app, it doesn't have the advanced features like iTrack and spot lock memory, but you do have the rabbit feature on this one, so you do need to be aware of when you use that, to be sitting when you use that. It has the heading feature, it has the spot lock feature, plus minus, plus you can control the directionality of the motor head as well as turning on and off your prop. All right, just got off the water, had a great day out in my AutoPilot 120. Thanks to all the great features built into the iPilot system. We'll put links to all of the extra remotes and apps, as well as a link to a PDF of the instruction manual for your iPilot. There's just tons of details in there. So if you saw a feature in there today that you want to learn more about, or you just want to go more through the written instructions, click on that link below as well. All right, guys, if you have any questions, just let us know in the comments section below, and we'll see you next time out on the water. Bye.